Hello and welcome back to Kamado Joe, the thrill of this grill. My name is John Aldaya, and today we're going to be doing up some round steaks. I've had marinating in some red wine with some barbecue sauce, just a quick marinade. I've been having them chill overnight, marinating overnight. And so a lot of people when they cook a round steak, they'll throw it on direct heat, 4 minutes each side, get it nice and hot fast right away, cut against the grain, let it rest, have a nice juicy steak. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to use a conquer divide system. I'm going to sear the steaks a couple minutes each side, throw them on indirect heat, and then I'm going to let them sit over there for about 45 minutes to get to a nice medium rare temperature. But so it's going to be a little bit different, takes a little bit longer. With a tough cut of meat like that, I like slow and go, and it'll come out nice and tender and juicy. And then we'll throw on some other sides to get this meal complete. But like I said, I'm going to be using the divide and conquer system. So what I have is I have the heat deflector on the right side. I got the hot coals on the left. I'm going to put the grate right next to them coals so the steak can get a nice sear on it. Then I'll move it over to upper grate on that heat deflector side, so that way it will be slow and go the rest of the way. So just bear with me while I get that set up. I've been debating what I was going to do with these round steaks and decided to go ahead and give it a slow and go cook. These coals about a little bit. Got a nice hot flame going here. I'm going to go ahead and get my divide and conquer the other side going. Great thing about this system is I can have one real close to the flames, one up and away, just like it's designed for. And again, I've had this marinade going, round steak marinating for about 24 hours. I'm not much of a marinade guy, but I decided what the heck, let me give this a try. So it's real wet. Want to leave it on there too long because with that barbecue sauce it will burn. We just want to get it nice and hot for right now. We're just going to give that a couple of minutes on each side. Get it seared up, move it over to the indirect heat, and see how that comes out. And then later on, after this is on the other side, what I'm going to do is do some sweet potatoes. I've cut them up in about 1/4 inch rings. I'm going to throw them on the direct heat, let them soften up after about 7-8 minutes. Add some honey, mixture with some butter. Let them cook down, soften up, and it'll be a nice side to go along with this round steak. Alright, it's been a couple of minutes on each side now, so we're going to go ahead and move the meat over to some indirect. And now what we're going to do is just let that slow and go with that tougher cut of meat. Those muscle fibers will break down, sort of like when I do a brisket or a pork butt. The slow and go, break down the muscles, make it real soft and tender and juicy. So in about 40 minutes when we get back over here, we'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, I'm going to go back inside and get those sweet potatoes ready to go. And in about 20 minutes or so, I'll go ahead and throw those on the pit. And that way they'll finish up about the same time that the round steak finishes up. And so looking forward to a great meal. Alright, we've been having these round steaks on for about 30 minutes so far. So what I'm gonna do now is, yeah, look at them steaks, they're looking good. Got some juice flowing on top of there. Yeah, those are looking real good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on the sweet potatoes, and I just cut them into about 1/4 inch thick rounds here. We're just gonna put them on the grate, put those up. About 4 minutes aside. Then we'll throw on some butter and honey on them and let that cook through. Make all these fit in here. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. So that's looking good. The steaks are looking good. There's the steaks. Now we have our sweet potatoes on there. We're going to close that up and give that about 4 minutes on each side, and then we'll add the butter and the honey to it. I'm getting hungry. It's smelling good. We got a nice evening, mid-September. Nice 85-degree day. Alright, we've had these sweet potatoes on for about another 5 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and start brushing them with the butter and the honey. And we'll leave it on there for about another 4 minutes or so. Let them get real soft. Smelling good in here. Got all these brushed up with some butter and honey. We're going to leave them on about 4 more minutes. Flip them to the other side. Smelling good. Can't wait to get into this meal. Okay, we've had our sweet potatoes on for about 12 total minutes. I'm going to grab me a small piece and see what we're up against here. Let that cool down a minute. Steak looks good. Can't wait to cut into that. The butter's hot. Alright. Got a little bit of crunch to it. I'm going to leave those on just in the heat. No direct flame. I'm going to shut that flame off. Close up the bottom air vent here, close up the daisy wheel. It's just going to be heat inside now, no direct flame. Let that sit for a few more minutes, and it should soften up the way I like it. That's pretty hot. I'll let that cool down before I take another bite of it. So we'll be. Alright, what we're going to do now is pull off that flank steak and let it rest. We got a nice look to it. It's nice and wet there. You can see that flank steak. Got juices flowing through it. It's looking good. And then I'll come back out and pull out some sweet potatoes. And so, I'm gonna let that rest that juice back up and cut into it. Thank you for watching Kamado Joe, the thrill of this grill. Once again, I'm John O'Donnell. We'll see you out on the next cook.